Hey guys, it's Brad from probateresource.com. So we did another really long video about the most common title issues, but I felt that it was necessary to elaborate a little bit further on quitclaim deeds. You've probably heard about it all the time, and I hear some people say the word quitclaim deed. It's a quitclaim deed, like you're quitting something. Quitclaim deeds, a lot of people use them incorrectly. They are a valid instrument to transfer title, but many times they're not done correctly. And one of the most common issues is pertaining to how it's being witnessed and notarized. So Mike, do you want to elaborate on that in terms of quitclaim deeds? And this also does apply to wills as well. So let's talk about that a little bit here.
Sure. So in every state, there are certain rules as to how deeds are supposed to be drafted and how they're supposed to be executed. In Georgia, in particular, there's when you sign a deed, obviously the grantor, the person who's conveying the property to the grantee, the person who's receiving the property, will be the one who actually signs the deed. When they sign the deed, they have to do it in front of an unofficial witness. Usually it's going to be a disinterested third party, and an official witness, and usually that official witness is the notary. However, one of the more common things that we find in the quote homemade quitclaim deeds that people download off the internet and just execute on their own, as opposed to having the unofficial witness and official witness, they'll do the unofficial witness and then they'll do what's called a notary acknowledgement section, which usually is down at the bottom of the deed, and it'll say, you know, that the notary, a certain person came before me on such and such day, and it's pretty identifiable when you see it. It'll often just say notary acknowledgement down at the bottom. However, that is not the proper way to execute the document, and so often when we find those, we have to go back and then fix the mistake that was made because the deed was not properly executed and drafted. And often title insurance companies won't recognize those types of conveyances and will consider the deed invalid, especially if it's closer in time to the transaction. Sometimes title insurance companies, if it happened 35 years ago, and I won't go into all the reasons why, they'll just say due to the passage of time, it's pretty clear that we have a consistent chain. It's not such a big deal. But in a certain window of time closer to the actual sale of the property that you're attempting or a person's attempting to do, it can cause a big problem.
Definitely. Yeah, and obviously you guys see incorrectly done quitclaim deeds all the time. So if someone does feel like they need it, and also I'm going to elaborate on this too. We just dealt with this recently. We had a situation where they got, I would say, somewhat improper advice from a probate attorney, and the probate, we were about to conclude a sale on a property, and the probate attorney said, well, hey, I can do a quitclaim deed for you and deed the property from the estate to yourself, and then you'll just sell it to, they'll be selling the property to me, to my company. And I said, no, you don't need to do that. You can just deed the property straight from the estate to me. You don't have to do a quitclaim to yourself. You're just kind of adding a necessary step. I'm sure you guys see that a lot. So elaborate on that a little bit.
And another issue we see is people do probate on their own, which people are free to do that. But then when it comes time, whether they be the executor or administrator of the estate, they have to deal with the property. And so they'll draft deeds on their own. And so when you draft a deed from an estate, it is the estate that's actually conveying the property, not the deceased person. It's the estate of the deceased person. So often we'll find quitclaim deeds that don't even reference the estate. It'll just be from, you know, John Smith, who is the deceased person, to wife or to child or to brother or something like that. And those deeds become invalid and have to be corrected in the future because they weren't drafted correctly to indicate that, in fact, it's, you know, Ann Smith, executor of the estate of John Smith, and often it'll have the estate number in the county and so on and so forth, who's the one who's actually conveying the property. And the executor signing as the executor of the estate not as the individual, or not even like in a power of attorney situation where they're signing their husband's name or something like that.
Yeah. So, those are the most common issues there with the quitclaim deeds. I mean, I've seen a gazillion of them that were done incorrectly. I'm not even an attorney. I've just done so many probate and inheritance deals over the years that I can usually spot it and point it out to you guys. I usually do my own, a little bit of a title search on properties myself, because nowadays all these deed records are all available online for the most part. So I'll kind of look up stuff myself ahead of time just to make sure stuff's good, and then obviously hand it off to a firm such as yourself or a title agency. Some state, I'm in Georgia here, and he's an attorney here in Georgia. Now, we're an attorney state, which you guys in essence are a title company. You're just closing with an attorney, but some states are just title states. They just have a title agency that does the closing. That's basically it about quitclaim deeds. If you're thinking about doing a quitclaim deed from an estate, I would highly recommend you to consult an attorney before you do that, because you might not even need to do it at all, or the attorney might give you some advice on how to do it properly, and obviously you can just pay them to do it for you, and it really doesn't cost that much money to do it. And then if you have an attorney do it, you know it's done properly. So,
Brian, can I just add one other thing?
Absolutely.
If you do the probate on your own, you have to understand the probate court, depending on the county, may give you a little bit of direction, but they're going to assume that you either know what you're doing or that you're going to seek some outside help. They deal with thousands of people, and they're not going to sit and hold your hand and walk you through the whole process. So if you're appointed executor or administrator, once they sign that order, they cut you loose and you're kind of on your own. So unless you know what you're doing, you're potentially going to create problems for yourself and the estate because it's not done properly. So it's not a matter of, attorneys just wanting to collect the fee for doing probate. It's just because anything you deal with legally can get complicated. It's a lot of paperwork. There are deadlines and filing requirements. And for most folks who have full-time jobs, families, it can be an overwhelming process. And so that's one of the main reasons you need an attorney, to be able to walk you through the process, make sure it's done correctly, and help to take some of the burden off your shoulders so that you're not just inundated with responsibilities and paperwork and so on and so forth.
Absolutely. Thanks for that information, Mike. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you checking out this video. I'm Brad with probateresource.com. We're a real estate solutions company. We buy properties for cash, and we also have a network of real estate agents that we do work with across the country that are specialists in the probate inheritance world. So if you've got an estate property that you want to sell, whether you want a fast cash offer from us or you want to go through one of our agents, we'd be happy to work with you. If you do want to work with us, go to our website. You can click on the link below. It'll take you to our site. There's a form there on the website you can fill out, or there's a phone number there up at the top of the website. Just call that phone number. A member of our team would be happy to talk to you about your situation, figure out if you're a good fit. So thanks again for checking out this video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.